welcome back to my channel. So Valentine's is coming up and I am going to be putting out a few different videos to give you ideas of what you can do. I know a lot of people usually go out to eat, but honestly, I think, you know, it's overly hyped to go out for Valentine's, and it's just as easy, if not more meaningful, to cook for the person that you love or for any, you know, friend or family. It takes a lot of effort when you do that, and hopefully the other person will realize, you know, that they meant enough for you to cook for them. So tonight I'm going to be actually making two things, one to eventually put in the freezer and then one for dinner. I'm going to be doing tortellini and ravioli, and I'm going to be using some help. I'm going to be using wonton wrappers instead of making the pasta dough. I can make pasta dough. I have made pasta dough. I don't have a pasta machine, so for me to make it, I do roll it out by hand, and it takes a lot of elbow grease, and frankly, I like a little bit more space when I do that, and I just don't really have a good setup for that right now. So that's the only thing from the store that I'm, you know, getting a little help from. Otherwise, I will show you what I use. So here in the front, I have my wonton wrappers. So the good thing about this is they're already cut. I just have to fill them and form them. For the base of my filling, I'm going to be using ricotta cheese. I'm going to be using some parmesan, as well as a little bit of mascarpone, and then I have a Meyer lemon. I have a lot of Meyer lemons actually, so I'm going to be using the zest for it, and then I have a good olive oil, and then for the ravioli I'm going to be adding in some prosciutto, and then I have some sage leaves that I'm going to be making a sauce with, in addition to butter, white wine. Okay, so I have my ricotta cheese in the bowl. I'm gonna do a nice big spoonful of the mascarpone, or mascarpone, however you want to pronounce it. And then to this I have my parsley. If you don't have parsley, you can also use thyme, or especially if you have like a lemon thyme, that would be really nice. I'm also going to do my parmesan. I'd say about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. And then I am going to zest my lemon. If your zester makes big shreds of, you know, the peel, then you're going to want to run your knife through it. You do want the lemon peel to be very fine so that it runs through your filling pretty evenly. Then you're going to add some salt and some pepper. As well as some really good olive oil. And then when you mix it, you're going to want to mix this lightly with a fork. You don't want to compact this. You want it to be fairly light. So go ahead and mix it, but, you know, be a bit gentle. And then as you're finished mixing it, then I would actually just taste it to see if it needs any more salt, pepper. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And actually a little bit more parmesan. And then I'll finish mixing. So I've formed my tortellini, or actually tortelloni, they're kind of big, and I've placed them on my sheet tray on parchment paper. Don't put this on foil, they will stick. And I'm going to put this in the freezer so that they set and freeze, and then I'll transfer them to a Ziploc bag. Now, if you find that you have a lot of extra cheese at the end, then I would put it on toast and maybe fry an egg or poach an egg and serve that on top. Okay, so for your prosciutto, now I like that my deli, they always slice it super thin. And you do want to leave the little ribbons of fat around, unless it's like too much, or you get the rind, then go ahead and cut that off. So I want little pieces going through. So I'm going to be slicing this one way and then slicing it the other way. Now I know that I mentioned the veal saltimbocca, or you can also do it with chicken. It's kind of a typical dish that's made with sage leaves and prosciutto, and it's really delicious. That was like one of the first things that I made in the kitchen by myself, so it's kind of got a special place in my heart. But I do like that, you know, has a lot of flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of separate the pieces of prosciutto. They do have a tendency to stick together, and then I'm going to go ahead and incorporate it into my cheese filling and mix it up. Okay. Now, to make the ravioli, you can do it one of two ways. You can fill this, fold it over, seal it up, call it a day, or you can do like a big ravioli, put the filling, and then put another thing on top. Either way, it's really up to you. But so I've gone ahead and incorporated everything. I am going to make a few of these, and I'm going to do the big ones, just because I feel like it. But then same thing, you do want to get some water on the edges and then lay the second one on top and press down. You could do it with a fork. You know, again, it's just personal preference. Make sure as much air is out as possible, and then you're gonna set it aside for when you boil them. I don't think, oh yeah, okay. So this is gonna make 3 big ones. I'm just doing that right now because I ran out of wrappers. I will have better measurements in the description box, so please be sure to check that out. But honestly, the suggestion of, you know, putting the filling on toast and having an egg on the side is a really good one. Now, this isn't going to take that long to cook. Basically, you're going to have a pot of boiling water ready, which I do. I'm just waiting until I've got this all done. And then I'll be making my sauce. So I have some olive oil and butter melting in my pan, and I'm just going to kind of bring the heat up on this. I don't want it too hot, but now that it's sizzling, I am going to drop in my sage leaves. Some are small, some are, you know, bigger, but these are basically gonna fry up. Now, basically, you want these to cook. They're not going to take that long. I wish I had my spider. I don't, but this is kind of like a close second. They should start floating when they're done. Okay, so as this starts to bubble, I would add a little bit of chicken stock first. And I know I didn't mention that at the beginning, but this will help. And then lower your heat a bit. And add your wine. And let this reduce. If you'd like, you can also put a pinch of salt and pepper. As the sauce is finishing, I did go ahead and put my ravioli in here to kind of absorb some of the flavors. And I'm just going to let this kind of continue. One of them did rip, which means that I probably overstuffed it, and that's very likely. Okay. These are pretty big. So 3, like for a course, is quite a lot. And remember, there's like cheese and butter, so you have all of that in there. If you want to arrange it, you can, but, or like actually having a sage leaf on each would be a good idea. It's really good. And of course, a little wine with this would not hurt at all. And then maybe on the side, just a little bit of a salad would be more than enough. For the tortellini, which is still in the freezer, the suggestion to serve it would be in a really good chicken broth. So if you make your own chicken broth or stock, that is what you would want to serve it in. The filling is very light, especially because of the lemon and because of the 2 particular cheeses, the ricotta and mascarpone. And in this case, the ricotta cheese that I got was very creamy. It was not dry at all. It wasn't, because there's different types, and if you go to the market, you will see different types. So I will have suggestions down below, but it is very typical to serve it as a soup. Pasta in brodo is what they typically call it in Italy. So, you know, and it's a very simple, but a very, very good starter to have. If you're having a really big meal, then you don't need a lot. It's just, you know, a little bit of soup with a few tortellini or tortelloni. This is delicious. It's really, really good. You can add lemon to the sauce as well, but the wine I think was enough. Thank you so much for watching. I will try and have a few more videos up before Valentine's Day. However, you know, that is not the only day you can cook for your loved ones. Any time of the year is a good time. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.